we were approached by the government in 1998. Cadets WA have been going in Western Australia for a little while, and they were fairly active going around to schools to find out if they would start a cadet unit. When they came here, they asked me, because we were surrounded by bush, if we would become a bushranger unit. And I said no, I wasn't interested in bushrangers. And then they noticed on the wall that we had Red Cross certificates everywhere, and Red Cross, or different banners from Red Cross. I've been with Red Cross since 1990 as an instructor, having done my first aid course in 1975 with Red Cross. So then they said Red Cross were interested in starting a unit, but they need somebody who's an adventure leader. Well, that's me. I found in the many years I've been working with youth, since I was about 29, a little bit older now, but young people I find are often frightened of their futures. They don't like the way the world's going. They're sometimes a bit concerned about their community, and they want to play a role in it, or they haven't got the opportunity to do anything about it. And the Red Cross Cadet program gives children the opportunity to get out into the community and change the community in which they live and make it a community that they want to live in. They were very, very fortunate in that the abseiling tower was, in its raw form, was an old power tower from Western Power, and they donated that. And so, and the high ropes course, a friend of mine was working on that for another campsite, and they couldn't really come to terms about how they're going to insure it, how they're going to get put up, who were going to be the instructors and so forth. So I spoke to them, and they donated the high ropes course to us as well. So I could see that challenging young people so that they can, everybody has a limit on what they'll do. They say, I can do this, but I'm not going to do anything else. To extend that limit, a program like that will set them a physical challenge that they can try and overcome. But you can also use it to come back into an academic challenge. For example, if a child says that we put them on top of that tower and they can't abseil, they're all shaky and they're not going to abseil. Bring them down, work on what the issue is, whether it's they don't trust the ropes, they don't like the height, they don't like to put their bottom out into space, or whatever it is. Now break it down into specific small tasks, then bring them down on the ground and work on those issues. So if it's height, slowly increase the heights, get them to do the routine descending techniques, things like that, until they're capable of doing it. Then they get up the top and they abseil and they feel fantastic. Then when they are doing the maths, we can apply the same things. They say, I can't do maths. Well, what is it about maths you can't do? Can you add? Oh yeah, I can add. Subtract? Yeah. What about algebra? Oh, algebra. So then we can find out what element they don't understand, get the teachers to work on that specifically, and the child can then do maths. So, and you can put that across all of your subjects. Cadets will often say to me, especially a 12-year-old, before we go out for the first time, and they're being introduced to the program, they might say things like, why should I go and help somebody else for nothing? The moment they go out with their team, with their squads, and they're working someone's yard, and they see that person come back with some appreciation on their face, just a look of joy, a thank you, those children want to go again and again and again. And so they're looking forward to meeting new people and having new jobs to do. And the jobs do change. I think you've seen the one where we were doing the shed. That shed roof is on tonight, and then the materials will be brought out of the storage unit that the lady's got them in and placed in the shed for her. We're doing 2 other properties this afternoon. One's 7 acres. So there's plenty of things for them to do, and they meet different people and they get that appreciation from different people. Really good. So I'm a first aid instructor. So we train the children up to be able to use that first aid. And instead of just training in first aid and then waiting for something to happen, we actually go out and practice it. So the Minnewara Park Festival is one, but we do a whole range of other events through the year for other schools, for different fates, all sorts of activities. We'll go out and provide the first aid free of charge, and that gives our cadets the opportunity to put their training into action. Well, why have, basically saying why is it Red Cross?
Yeah.
And what was Red Cross?
Yeah. Well,
So Red Cross is an international group, and they're well respected around the world. Wherever there's problems, wherever there's vulnerable people, Red Cross is there. You know, what was the last things that we had going, you know, tsunamis, sorry, put it outside. Sorry about that. Yeah, so working with Red Cross is an international group, and they're well respected around the globe. Wherever there's a problem, Red Cross is always there. So whether it's a tsunami or an earthquake or 9/11, some of the first photos you see is the big Red Cross. And Red Cross is setting up shelters, they're linking people, they're getting support out there for people. And so that gives us a great opportunity to link into a group like Red Cross to bring children into that service type of mentality and to become, we hope, volunteers of the future. And a lot of our cadets, of course, have become volunteers. They are working in their community, and the things that they've learnt through the cadet program are valuable to them. And it's something they'll learn for life. I would love to see it grow into other schools. We have had several other schools, I think it's been 8 schools, have been running a Red Cross Cadet program. They haven't run it quite the same way as we're doing. They're not as involved in their communities as we are, but they are Red Cross Cadet units. But staffing wise, you've got to have staff that will be passionate about it and that will want to continue to run the program. Here, we're really very, very much blessed. We've got staff that give their all to the Red Cross Cadet program. So I'm very, very fortunate to have those staff with me here. Some other schools don't have that. You know, a lot of teachers won't commit time beyond school hours or give up weekdays or weekends and things like that to be working with young people.
Is that correct, is it?
I'm retiring this year. No, I've cut down to 3 days per week, so that's great. I can now work 7 days a week. I refuse to work the 8th day. No, I've cut down to 3 days a week, but I can still do the program and so on. So I'd love to see it grow. I'd love to see other schools come into it. Hopefully, I'll be able to do something with Red Cross and be able to get out there and talk to other schools and encourage other schools and other staff in those schools to give it a go and just see what a difference it makes to students.
What else were you sort of after?
No, we pretty much covered all those points in the interview. That was sort of the overarching things.
Yep.
But saying that, Dad, if there's anything you want to sort of add, you said something about just recently those students that were helping out.
With the first aid training, you've seen the first aid training that we do here with the cadets, and just this year alone, apart from the first aid that we apply for the City of Armidale through the cadet program, cadets have had the opportunity to use those skills outside of the school. Okay, so at the beginning of the year I received an email that one of my ex-cadets was able to help a person who crashed into a tree and had head injuries, and the ambulance people encouraged him, and St John's Ambulance said, look, you've done a really fantastic job, and that boy sent that message back that he was able to use his skills for that motor vehicle accident. Then we've also had, early in the year, we had one boy who was a cadet, his younger brother was choking, and Mum said, oh, what are we going to do? And he said, don't worry, Mum, I can do this. And he cleared the airway, and his little brother was fine. But Mum didn't come and tell me, but she did mention to other parents, so I got the message back about that. And then last Saturday, one of our girls, Michaela, she's one of our cadets, she was at work at Active 8 in Kelmscott, where they have children's activity groups, and one child started to convulse, collapse and stop breathing, and she went over and she carried out CPR and revived the child, and since then the family's been in touch to know what the diagnosis has been for the child, but there was an underlying illness that they didn't know about, so that was revealed because the child collapsed.
And how does that make you feel as like a teacher to be able to see that from your students?
Oh, well, it's always good that cadets are using the skills that they've been given, and they're not just skills that they've learnt and haven't practiced. They're skills that they've learnt and we've put them into practice. Over the years, we've dealt with head-on motor vehicles, accidents just out of Margaret River, a boy swinging on a swing into the river and dropping short and breaking his leg. We've had situations like that we've had to deal with as well. And of course, when we run camps and things like that, cadets can look after each other as well. So they can look after minor injuries and support each other.
And do you think as a program, like in regards to the children, do you think it also very much sort of promotes this idea of like mateship between each other?
Oh, I think you'll find that the cadets are very, very close. They're in squads, but those squads change, and so the sense of belonging is fantastic. And that's one thing that young people need. Young people need to feel that they belong, and not only belong in their group, but belong in their community, and that they have some power to use their skills and to be using their desires to help other people in a real practical way. So, yeah.